Today is the day where I turn this quilt into this dress. I have lots of shiny tulle and I'm regretting the sparkles already because everything is now sparkly. I have extra blocks that I made from my scrap fabric because I don't think this is going to be enough just in the quilt itself, so I put together lots of scrap blocks that I'll have to put together into yardage that I can then cut from. I have my pattern. I have fabric that will work as the backing or the lining. This is going to be my slip fabric. The shiny tulle will be my underskirt to make it poofy. And then I also have some rainbow tulle as a surprise. I have been wanting to do this for a long time with a legit kits quilt, but there's a difference between cutting up a quilt with 380 pieces and cutting up a quilt with 1700 pieces. So when I saw this quilt being released as the block of the month, I knew this was the one that I needed to make a dress out of. All my other quilts are safe from chopping. It's this one that I'm gonna use. Okay, so here's what I have to do. I need to lay out my pattern and see how it's gonna fit on the quilt. I think the front and the back might fit. I might have to add a couple blocks because I want a train. So this dress has a train. So I might have to add a couple to make the length a little bit longer to make the train. And then I'm gonna use these scrap blocks as my sides. And I think they'll blend in fairly nicely. So I have to lay out my pattern, make sure it fits. I have to get everything cut and then start sewing. I am super excited about this. So let's see what happens. Everything is sparkly. I regret that decision. So the first thing I have to do is cut out my pattern. Now I have taken my measurements and used those measurements to choose my size. Do not just buy the size pattern that you normally wear in off-the-rack clothing. It will not fit. Patterns run completely different sizes. So use your measurements to pick your size. Now I'm making dress, I don't know. I haven't decided which sleeve I want. I think I'm going to do the little straps and I might do them out of tulle. So I'm just gonna say dress C and I'm gonna cut out my pieces for dress C, which are five, 6, 3, and 2, and then the little straps, which are 11. Now I'm not gonna do a full lining because I quilted the quilt, so I have the backing of the quilt will act as the lining. I will have to do a couple facing pieces, so I'm not worried about the lining for now. I'm worried how these are going to fit on the quilt. There's some interfacing pieces I will cut out here. That's my little strap. So I have 2 and 5. And this is 3 and 6. Okay, so 3 and 6 are side front and side back. So I'm gonna put those aside for now because that's what I'm using my spare blocks for. My focus is front and back. And then front is on the fold, if I can make that work. But because back has the train, that's my first concern. I will say, worst case scenario, this is the easiest quilt that Legit Kit offers. And this one took me about 10 hours to make. So even if I screw it up, I really don't think I will, but it has been a long time since I've made an item of clothing, even though I used to make them professionally. It's been a while, so if I screw it up, I can make another one. It's okay. Let's just not screw it up. I don't know. Well, actually I do, because the middle goes on a fold right through the middle. And the back, so the back needs to be on the two outer edges. We'll see if it even fits lengthwise. Oh, I think we're gonna do it. Okay. Fits. I'm scared to death just to even start pinning, but I have to do it. I'm not as worried about grain line on this one because I've done all the quilting and so the fabric is stabilized. I'm really not worried about grain line. I have to do it. I have to just jump in and do it. What's the worst that could happen? Okay, a lot, but I have to do it. I technically have more, like it's longer. I could even make it a longer train if I wanted to. I wonder if I should just cut it long for now. Let me just pin it and see where it's gonna fall. I've been so excited to do this and now I'm just petrified. Well, I have to find a zipper. I haven't picked out a zipper yet. It's pinned. That means I have to cut. Oh, well, I've technically got lots of room for the front, but what I might want to do is shift it down, not cut extra on the train to allow room for the front where it expands. Yeah, I think I have to do that. Let's do that. Part of me also wonders if I just said that so I wouldn't have to cut, so I'd have to repin it again. So I'm gonna move this down. I don't think it makes a big difference, but might be the difference between making it and not making it in the end, having enough and not. Okay, I've got my big dressmaking shears. Here we go. Here we go. I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it. Watch me do it. Okay, there's the first piece cut. No turning back now. So this will be essentially my lining. Now I have to cut a second piece, mirror image. Flip the quilt to do. I'm just now realizing, I don't know, I could have cut the back right next to where I cut the, like the second piece. I could have cut it right next to where I cut the first piece, and that way maybe the colors would mesh a little bit better with that seam along the back, but I'm not really sure that was an option anyways. So it might just be a surprise how all these colors come together along the seam lines. Now I have thought about the fact that I will have to do something to finish the seams because I won't have a lining and because these seams will be fairly bulky. So I'm either going to have to press them open and tack them down on each side or use a ribbon tape. But I guess a ribbon on the outside of the seam is also an option. Maybe. We'll see. It's not a mirror image. It's not a mirror image. Yep. Yeah. Okay. I really want to cry. It's just a dress. It's just a quilt. But that was such a stupid mistake. Okay. Let's see what we have. Nope. Definitely not a mirror image. Let me see how long it is here. I might get my wish after all of putting the colors right next to each other. What a stupid mistake. Pattern facing down this time. I do have enough fabric. I might just have to cut the front out of that back, and if I have to add on some fabric, I will. Okay. I don't have enough for the front after this, on this. It's definitely not going to fit like that. Okay. Might be breaking into our scrap blocks long before I intended to. What a stupid mistake. Okay, we'll make it work. It's okay. Just hate it when I do that. That was totally my just overlooking. I mean, the good news is it's a quilt. If we have to quilt together some more quilt to add to the quilt dress, we can do it. Might be making the front of the dress from the scrap blocks too. knew it was going to be tight, but not because of my own mistake. Okay, now we have two backs, mirror images. Done with the back for now. Okay, let's see. Let's see which one we like better, since we have a choice. This is our first option. And it's definitely bright. But this is our second option. I like the blues and purples in here. And either way, it doesn't really line up. So I think I'm going to go with the blue and the purple. So this is our back. Let's see what we have to work with for the front. Now these are supposed to be on the fold, but that's not happening now. So we'll just do a seam down the front. Maybe. Okay, I think I can make it fit on here and cut one out of the back. And then I'll just have to piece together the rest of it to make another one. And there'll be a seam down the front, but that's not the end of the world. It won't show much because, I mean, it's a quilt. It's essentially a crazy quilt, so it is what it is. Let me get this one cut because I know this will definitely fit. And then we'll see what we have to piece together out of the actual quilt. I might end up just like top stitching all of my seams. Again, I don't think they'll show that much. I don't think it would show at all. And it would just kind of make them nice and flat. I can experiment. Okay, the front seam is going to be a pretty narrow seam, but it'll work. Don't cut that off. Don't cut it off. Don't cut it off. Okay, it is weird. So this is the mirror image front. So I need to cut another front with a seam allowance on the front center seam and this side up, the right side up. Okay, there's my front. Jeepers. Let's see what I have to work with here. All the way down here. I need to add on quite a bit down here. But if I pull it up this way, what happens if I do it like this? Okay, that's not horrible because then I just need to add a triangle. Which it gets dark, but I think I can use that. Or that. It's the bottom front, and I just don't think in the grand scheme of things it's gonna show. I'm gonna keep telling myself that because I don't think they're going to notice the continuity of the actual quilt. Like if it was a lion or something and I had a lion's face, then yeah, you would notice if there was like some random appendage, maybe not even then, but I feel like with the Vortex, I don't think it's going to show. I don't think the continuity will truly matter. I'm going to do this. Add on right there, top stitch the seam, and use that for the bottom of the front of the skirt. And I think that's gonna work. Whoops. It's gonna have to work because it's all I have right now. Even. Cut a straight line. Got white thread in my machine, but I do have an orange. I'm gonna switch to orange and just top stitch it after sewing it. Let's see what that first one looks like. Okay, that's not horrible at all. I mean, it really just looks like more quilting. Looks like echo quilting. I'm totally okay with that. So let's do the other side and move on with my life. now I'm gonna see if I can get the dress cut out of this. The front, and I need it non-mirrored. I need the right sides up. Did I do this? Yeah. Did I do it this way? I think it's this way. I don't even know anymore. Okay, I might need to add a tiny little other piece, but I will deal with that later. I could just use this as my pattern probably. Okay, while these two are right sides together, I'm going to go ahead and pin them along that center seam that I now have to sew. Okay, so front and back are cut. And originally I was wondering and thinking that in using the scrap blocks, I would want to arrange them so that it blended between the front across the side to the back. But now I'm wondering if that's even important. I feel like maybe I should just blend among the sides and not even worry about blending front to back. Just, I mean, this thing's a rainbow, so it's gonna be busy, it's gonna be obnoxiously colorful. So maybe I don't worry about blending across front to back. Maybe I just arrange the blocks in a way that they blend in themselves. I will have to quilt these. Cut 2. Cut 2. So much fabric. I knew it was going to be a lot, but it just feels like I do wonder if maybe I want to quilt it in a different way than I quilted the quilt to differentiate between the quilt blocks and the scrap blocks, but maybe I'm just saying that because I really want to be lazy. I guess I just have to get them laid out and then see how much I have to work with. so 36 blocks here, which is about 4 more than I expected to have to use, because I was expecting another 64 blocks that I'd need. But if I need 72 blocks, I'll just have to make it work. But I think I have to make it work. So I guess I'll sew these together and quilt them, and then do it again. I'm gonna go ahead and sew these together. I'll have to make some more scrap blocks, so that'll probably take me the rest of the day, and then hopefully tomorrow I can start sewing the dress together, which would be amazing. I'm okay with that. I want instant gratitude. I've been looking forward to this for so long. Just out of curiosity, how many other blocks do I have? 17, and one that fell behind. 18. Okay, here's what I have done at the end of day 1. Cried on camera. I got all of the blocks put together and quilted for, well, half. I got half of the second scrap block yardage. I got half of that put together and quilted. I got the other half assembled and cut, like made and cut, and then tomorrow I will put those together and quilt those, which it didn't take too long. So, and this one's a little bit smaller. It's a row smaller than the first one, so it should go fairly quickly. I have my front and back cut, so I need to cut the interfacing pieces, underlining, so that I have something to sew my tulle onto, my underskirt, and I need to find a zipper still. So I need to work on that. I need to decide how I want to finish my seams. Do I want to do some bias tape on the front, on the outside? But I don't think so. I think I'd rather do the bias tape on the inside to cover the seams, and then just kind of the top stitching will show on the outside.